Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Detroit Garage. The topic of discussion today is water methanol and alternative fuels. And as you know or may not know, I run waste vegetable oil in this truck, and it's got a 453T Detroit in it. And yeah, it runs really sweet. No issues to speak of. But 33,000 miles on vegetable oil, and I have no issues. And I think part of that is the water methanol. I assumed I had put a video up with the description and everything of the water meth, but it turns out I didn't. So never too late, you know. So yeah, I installed a water meth system. It's a AEM system, and I put a 5-gallon reservoir in the bed, and then that goes through a hard line to the pump, high pressure pump, and then from the high pressure pump it goes up into the manifold, and there's a boost sensor on the top, and there's a 500cc injector below that. And I've got the controller set up to start adding a mist at 5 psi, and then after 15 psi it's at full boost. So it's on a graduated scale. The system is always turned on. I have it on a switch here on the aux, and it's always on. Cold or hot, the engine gets its dose of water meth. So it's perfect for me. I put the system in when I started burning waste vegetable oil 33,000 miles ago. So I installed it purely for a preventative maintenance, to stop injector coking and ring coking and all these nasty things you hear people talking about running waste vegetable oil. So I've had zero symptoms. I've had no coking of injectors. The airbox is dry. There's no slobbering. There's no smoking. The engine is running absolutely perfect. And I think I can attribute the water meth partly to that. I can't confirm that because I've had zero issues, and I'm not willing to try running zero water meth. So on the consumption side of the water meth, I burn about a gallon a week of I basically use water in the summertime and windshield washer fluid in the winter. I use a -45 solution, which is about a 50-50 mix. That 50-50 mix works really sweet with a 500cc injector. It adds about 15% power, so in my case about 30 horsepower extra. It lowers EGTs by 100 degrees. On a hot summer day, I usually run 950 without any water meth on a long pull, say towing, or even just going in overdrive up an 8% grade. It goes from 850 down to, 950 down to 850. So consumption on the highway is about a half a gallon an hour empty, and about a gallon an hour towing. So, and that's of course in the BC mountains where I live here. Everything's mountains, so I'm sure I could get that down way down low if I didn't have to go up all these hills all the time. But I installed that unit. Like I said, I used to run propane in this truck, and that was a disaster. I don't know why. Excuse me. It was an absolute disaster. I had to pull the engine apart, put new piston rings and bearings in it. I got rid of all the ceramic coated stuff that was in the engine. For some reason, it turned the engine into a carbon blackened mess. Not sure why. But anyway, as soon as I rebuilt it, put it back on the highway, I put it back on with the water meth on and started burning waste vegetable oil right after that. Like literally, I did a few hundred miles and then started burning waste veg oil. So it works perfect. Eventually, maybe someday I'll be able to pull it apart and check, but for now I'm leaving it as is. I've got the 7A77s in the Detroit now, and it's staying that way. There's zero smoke, lots of power, and there's no need to change them up. Eventually, someday, I would like to get 9G90s in this truck, but until I can do some experimenting, I'm just leaving the 7A77s in. I've mentioned previously on other videos that I have a 453T, a silver series, that's ready to build, and I will be building that. It's a slippery slope, but I would say in about 6 months I would like to ideally start building that engine. Now that I have the dyno finished, I could put the 453T on the dyno, and then I can run compounds and bigger injectors and more water meth and all this stuff to test it, you know, at the comfort of my shop instead of driving down the highway, you know, breaking down in the middle of nowhere. So that's my spiel on the water meth, guys. Yeah, running perfect. I just have it on all the time, and it's automatic. I fill it up every couple of weeks. I add a couple of gallons to it. The majority of the driving in this truck is 80% city and about 20% highway. So, so far so good. So, highly recommend the water meth to anyone that's running waste motor oil or waste vegetable oil. Coking issues are gone. There is no issues to speak of. Be it a Cummins, Detroit, you name it. Any engine burning waste veg oil or waste motor oil, I highly recommend a water meth system of sorts. Even water injection if you're in a warmer climate. Either one. Basically steam cleaning your engine all the time. So, there you have it. That's my story on the water meth, guys. Yeah, so again, thanks for checking in, and catch you on the next video. Take care.